Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Temmy and I am a YouTuber based in British Columbia in Canada. I bring you content on education, career and lifestyle. If you're just coming across my channel, please watch, like, share and subscribe. And if you have been here, thank you for sticking around. Now let's just jump into today's video. So today's video we'll be talking about the current realities of Canada. Is Canada still worth it? Right, so let's just jump into it. Now, people that are not in Canada and even people that are here in Canada, they are looking at it like, is it still worth it? Like the hype about Canada and all. We know how it was like a few years ago, right? But looking at it now, there's been so many changes. There's been so many policies that are coming out. Government keeps churning out a whole lot of things. And some of those things affect people who are already inside Canada, and by default people who are outside Canada are not left out, right? Between January last year 2024 up to now, the government has rolled out more than 190 policies about immigration. So that tells you a whole lot has happened. I look at the time when I came in as a student and where I am now, which is 2 years apart. There's a huge difference. Now let's talk about it. People are still asking, are people still coming to study in Canada, right? You are going to ask me. I'm going to tell you that people still come to study, but this time around you have to do it differently. You have to be strategic. Now, before now, you could come study in Canada, you could come to college, you could come for a master's program, a diploma, or whatever program in whatever field you want to. But now Canada is saying, like, they're looking at it like, the people that are coming here to study, how does it impact our economy, right? And are they coming to do courses that are in demand occupations here in Canada? And so they looked at some of those things and they reevaluated, considering the fact that a large number of people are coming into Canada, and some of these things have led to the policies that they have in place today. As of today, I can tell you that if you are coming to study in a college, you have to be careful about the course that you want to choose, because some of the courses that these colleges offer, some of them are no longer eligible for work, postgraduate work permits. That's the work permit you get when you graduate after school. Some of those courses are not eligible again. So you have to find that, and if you go on Canada's website, you'll find the field of study. That field of study brings out a whole lot of courses that you can still do, that allows you to get your postgraduate work permit when you are done. That's one aspect, so take note of that. This has got nothing to do with whether your school is a designated learning institution. You still have to go to a school that is a designated learning institution, but in addition to that, now you have to ensure that whatever course you are coming to study is one of the eligible fields of study that qualifies you for a postgraduate work permit. That aside, now let's look at it. After your postgraduate work permit, what next, right? Before, the pathway seemed clear. You come to school as a student, right? You come as an international student. When you are done with school, you get your postgraduate work permit. You work, if you do a 1-year program, you get a 1-year postgraduate work permit. If you do 2 years, you get 3 years postgraduate work permit, right? And after that, once you get your work permit, you can start working towards becoming a permanent resident. We had Canadian experience class, express entry, provincial nominee programs, and a whole lot of other things that people could explore as international students and as temporary foreign workers, and temporary workers rather, right? But nowadays, those chances are beginning to slim down. It's not like before. When you look at CEC, now the CEC scores are high. So this is not to scare anybody, but rather what can you do better? And we know that with CEC, right, you require 1 year experience in Canada, and your education coupled with a whole lot of other things that can give you points, that can boost your score and make you qualified to get an invitation to apply. There's that aspect, but nowadays the scores are high and it just seems like people cannot meet up with those scores. And when we look at express entry, they haven't even done like general draws in like a while. It has been category-based draws, and those category-based draws have been largely French and healthcare and some education, but not so much as healthcare and French draws. So what are the things that you need to reevaluate to get your express entry? So before, like I said before, it was a lot more easier. Now, do you have to do another master's program to get extra scores? Do you have to learn French to get extra scores to be qualified for the category based draws? Now you have to work towards maxing out your CELPIP or your IELTS exam, aim for the highest score, right? So everything is just everywhere. And when you look at provincial nominee programs, provincial nominee programs also help people to get their permanent residency, because sometimes if you are, let's say you came to Canada and you are quite older than what the express entry can accommodate, that's your age, right? Some people explore the provincial nominee option, which gives them additional 600 points. But with the recent changes and developments from IRCC, now some of those provinces are forced to reevaluate. They are forced to re-strategize. And in fact, looking at the quotas that a whole lot of provinces got last year is different from this year. And I'm going to give you an example. For example, in British Columbia here last year, you had like 15,000 slots from the government for provincial nominee alone. As of this year, it was slashed. Like a huge chunk of it was slashed. It came down to 4,000. Now they had to reevaluate, how do we do these things in such a way that, you know, we still want to give people, we still desire people to come to our province, but we also want people to come, people who are valuable to us. So there's been like a whole lot of pauses with some of the programs. For example, in British Columbia that was supposed to start, there's been a lot of pauses to say, okay, let's see how next year is going to go about this. But for now, since we have 4,000, right, this is our quota, this is what the government has given us. How can we maximize this in such a way that we have to focus on the most important sectors and the most important occupations here? So looking at all of these things, right, there are still people, like I said, who are in Canada already. Work permit is counting, the days are going, like your work permit will soon expire. You're just looking at the clock as it's ticking, like, what do I do, right? So, and then there are people like, you know, outside Canada, and they are wondering, is it still worth it? So I'm still going to tell you, right, apart from like these policies and all, Canada is still a good place for immigrants to thrive, right? You just have to re-strategize, especially if you want to come as a student. Look at the in-demand courses. What can you do better? For some courses, as of today, some especially like business programs and all, Canada hasn't paid much attention to it in the last 1 year. They are focusing on, you know, trades, they're focusing on healthcare, construction, trades, healthcare, construction, tech. Yeah, tech is also an important one that they are focusing on. So what can you do? And when you, like I said, when you go to the field of study, you then see there's a huge breakdown of it. Agriculture as well, there's a huge breakdown. And you know, okay, tech, what courses can I study in school that would lead me to getting my permanent residency? The goal is to get a permanent residency and then finally citizenship, right? But we both know that once you get your PR, you're most likely sorted. If you choose not to pursue citizenship, it's totally fine, and say, okay, I'm okay being a permanent resident of Canada, that's fine. But if you're in the express entry pool right now and then you're just waiting, what can you do better? A lot of people are going to, you know, learn French. It's not the most convenient, especially as adult learners, because how a 30-something-year-old, a 40-something-year-old will learn a language is not how a child will learn a language. Growing up, I picked up Hausa language because of people speaking around me, and even Yoruba because of people speaking around me. But now, for example, if I had to go back to learn French, right, it's going to be difficult. It's going to take a while. So it's going to take commitment, dedication. If you say that this is what I want to pursue, right? Then a lot of people are coming into like healthcare. Some are doing personal support worker courses in school. They are doing healthcare related courses, nursing, a whole lot, right? So just look at it. Look at how the draws have been this year. Look at the trend. Look at what you can do better. If you're already in the express entry pool, what can I do there to increase my scores? Some people have masters, which automatically gives them additional points. Some have PhD, they get extra points. Some say, okay, you know what, let me work 1 year. I'm already in Canada, let me work 1 year to get additional points for Canadian experience. And 1 year Canadian work experience, with 1 year, you get 35 points if you're single, additional points, and if you're married, you get 40 points. You know, some of those options, when you just look at it, it's better to, you know, make hay while the sun shines, but above all, try as much as possible to be strategic. Don't just choose any course because you're going to apply to schools, right? It's up to you to do your due diligence. The school you want to go to, they'll give you admission if you are qualified for it. The due diligence, the burden of proof rests on you. It's up to you to do your due diligence to know that, okay, after this program, will I be able to get a work permit, right? If I go to this province, how easy is it for me to get my permanent residency? What are the options that are open to me in that province? And even through like the general pathway, what are the options? So those are things that you need to consider. So is Canada still worth it? I'll tell you yes, but then you need to be more strategic. You need to rethink your strategy. You need to be sharp about it so that when you come here, you don't just throw a lot of money into the system, because the truth is, international students, we pay a lot of tuition. When you look at what we pay compared to what domestic students pay, you will understand that it's a huge margin. So you have to, as much as you want to throw that money, make sure that you are channeling it into the right place. So think strategy before you come. And yes, Canada is still worth it, but just look at it properly. Do your research. It is important to do your research. Go on the Canadian website, the IRCC website. You are going to find a whole lot of things to read. You are going to find a whole lot of resources. You will just go there, get the information directly from there and read it yourself. So that makes sense. So that's it, guys. Thank you. If you are still here at this point, please like, share, subscribe, comment, share with other people that you know. If this kind of content excites them, right, share it with them. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'll see you in my next video.